Good afternoon. You're listening to Something Sundays with Colonel Dr. Acula, and I am the one, the only Colonel Dr. Acula. And today we're going to talk about something. A whole lot of something, to be honest with you. We're going to talk something about 2021. What a year. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. People thought 2020 was a year. Get a load of 2021. But we're not going to focus on all of the negative, because that's not why we're here. We're going to talk about some of the great things that happened in 2021. It was a great year for film. Oh yeah. Before we get into all of these wonderful films that came out this year, did y'all have a good Christmas? Was your holidays wonderful? You know, they say it's the most wonderful time of the year, and I hope it was for you and yours. Now, you are probably exhausted and just relaxing today. It's very tiresome to be all holly jolly. So I hope you have your coffee, your tea, your soda, whatever it is that you relax with on a Sunday afternoon. So kick back, relax, and let's talk about something to do with films. Such great films came out this year. Probably one of the greatest years in cinema in a very long time. Maybe possibly ever. That's mostly to do with the fact that a lot of films that was posed to come out in 2020 was pushed to 2021. You know, for example, the new James Bond, No Time to Die. It was supposed to be a 2020 release, but that was jumped to this year. So let's talk something about James Bond, No Time to Die. Now, as always, I'm not going to discuss spoilers in this podcast. I'm not that kind of guy. But Daniel Craig, James Bond, you know, I know there's, a lot of debate about who's the best James Bond. You know, is it Sean Connery? Is it, well, who cares about who else was James Bond besides Sean Connery and Daniel Craig? I think Daniel Craig, in my opinion, is my favorite Bond. He was good. Skyfall really nailed it for me. Skyfall was the first film in the franchise. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We got something great here. Not like Casino Royale. And Solace of Quantum was pretty cool. It's my least favorite of the Daniel Craig era. Spectre was pretty great. But, No Time to Die. It was awesome film. Awesome film. The title song for it by Billie Eilish, whatever her name is. I don't really like her music except for her song, In No Time to Die. I don't even know the name of it. It's probably called No Time to Die. That's how much I really follow her music. But it's a really great song. And I have listened to it a few times since then. But if I had to rank the James Bond movies from best to worst, it'd be Skyfall, No Time to Die, Spectre, Casino Royale, and Quantum of Solace. Or Solace of Quantum. I don't know. See, it's not even that important to remember. Kind of like Billie Eilish. If you're a Billie Eilish fan, sorry. I just totally talking trash about someone that you like to listen to. Most of them, sorry that you like to listen to them. Anyway, great film. I recommend you see it. Now moving on to some other great films that came out. Now this is kind of a random list. This is not really a top 10. Although I will tell you my favorite film of 2021 later on. Another great film that came out, Candyman. Oh, I'm a big fan of the Candyman franchise. The first one, so iconic. Tony Todd gave us one of the greatest horror villains in horror cinema. His voice. What a voice that man has. It just whispers in your ear. I even like, Candyman 1 was great, but I even like the sequels that came after that. They weren't the best films. That's what happens when Hollywood jumps on something that's kind of a hit. A lot of times they have a tendency to drive it in the ground and destroy it. But I think those films, Pharaoh to the Flesh and what are the other ones called? I'm probably the worst host you can possibly listen to. But I have no bull. You get it straight. Whatever. I need to work on catchphrases too. That would probably be beneficial. But we don't care about stuff like that because we're just going to go with the flow. Now, as I was saying, I like the original Candyman's, but this new one's really good. It was a nice, reboot. These movies have a new tendency to be sequels, but reboots at the same time. It's kind of cool. I like that. It's a very interesting concept. So it's better than just acting like the previous stories never existed completely at all, and just kind of make it fresh and new. But I really like the take on the new Candyman. Definitely worth watching. The other film, Cry Macho. Clint Eastwood, well, the man's in his 90s. Here he is directing and writing and starring in a film. At a time when most people who are like 50 years old, 40 years younger than him, can barely get around. All they do is lay on the couch and whine. You got Clint here, well, he's still kicking it. Cry Macho is a pretty good film. Wasn't really what I expected. I expected something. Well, if you watch it, you know what I'm talking about. I expected something else to come out of the film, but it was really great character story, and I liked it. Definitely should check it out. Jungle Cruise, and if you're wondering, I'm reading this list off of Google, because I didn't prepare no list, because that's how I wrote. But Jungle Cruise, it's a pretty good film. I mean, it seemed a little bit lazy in a way, but it was a fun ride, and it's got this really cool plot element to it. Plot storyline in the film that I really love, and that's probably what sells it for me. So it's definitely a must-see film. I really don't care what your usual film preference is. It's not really a children's movie or a young child's movie, I'd say. I guess, I don't know. I don't have children. What do you let your kids watch? Be your own judge. It's a good movie, though. It's got The Rock. It's got Emily Blunt. It's got some other people in it. They do a pretty good job. Definitely should watch it. The French Dispatch. I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen any of it. Do want to watch it. But we'll get to that at a later time. But the director, he did some movies in the past that I really digged, so I'm hoping to get to see that before too long. Scrolling on down to this list, because there's a lot of movies that came out. Oh, The Conjuring. The devil made me do it. I was so looking forward to this film. I love the Conjuring series. I absolutely love these movies. To me, they're probably the best horror franchise ever created. At least in modern times anyway. I love it. So I was really looking forward to it. It was a pretty good film. I don't think it lived up to my expectations, though. After waiting so long for it to come out. But I did enjoy it. I watched it twice. And a lot of films I don't watch twice. If I don't like a film, I usually won't watch it from start to finish. But I did watch it twice. It's a pretty good film. I do recommend it if you're a fan of The Conjuring. Just maybe you'll like it more than I did. I'm not saying it's a bad film. If you had to rate it to 1 to 5 stars, I'll give it 3.5. Or else I give the other ones at least a solid 4. Wrath of Man. Jason Statham, or however you say his name. The bald British guy that talks in a deep voice and plays the same character in every single movie he's ever been cast in. He was in Crank and The Italian Job and some other films. I actually do like the guy. I like his acting. Well, I don't know him, so I don't know if I like the guy, but I like his acting. It was a pretty fun film. I actually rated it about 4 stars. I'm not going to rate every single film because my opinion is just an opinion, and I'm no film critic. I like what I like, I hate what I hate, and so be it. It's a good little fun ride. Fun, good ride. Go watch it. Quit judging me. Let's see here. What else is on here? And there's movie Spencer. I haven't seen it either. So I'll just mention films that I want to watch that, even if I haven't seen them or not. Just listen. You got anything else better to do on a Sunday afternoon? You know, your kids probably, what do they get? Light up laser pistols that make all kinds of annoying sounds, or drones that they're attacking you with. I don't know. What do kids like these days? They're on an iPad, or they're running around screaming. You ain't got anything else better to do. Listen to me and we'll get through this Sunday. You dig? Anyway, Spencer. It's got Kristen Stewart in it. She plays Diane, Princess Diane. It's like a maybe Better Life or something. Kind of looking forward to it. So, in a future episode, just like the French Dispatch, we'll talk about something about it. Antlers. Haven't seen it either. It may be good, it may not be. If it's good, let me know. Should I watch it or pass on it? You dig? Snake Eyes. I actually kind of like that film. It's a G.I.G. origin story. Origin. How do you say it? Do you say origin or origin? I like origin. But a lot of people say origin. Whatever. I don't think it matters. Maybe it does. Snake Eyes is pretty neat. I've seen the G.I. Joe movies. I'm really not a big fan of them. They're very... not much to remember. Not something very catching. And Snake Eyes is kind of the same way. It's a fun little ride while you watched it, but I really wouldn't write home and tell my grandma's uncle about it or anything like that. It's like a 2.5-star movie. But kind of cool. The Matrix Resurrections. A lot of people, a lot of different opinions about this film. A lot of people liked it, a lot of people didn't like it. It's the same way for anything. People are so divided. Pretty much about everything. But Matrix Resurrections, I actually liked it a whole lot. Matrix 2 and 3, I liked them too, but they was very weak compared to, the original OG Matrix back in 1999. That Matrix was great. Had all the bullet time and all the hacking and all the plugging in and the telephones and all that cool stuff. It was an interesting concept. Matrix Resurrections, to me, captured the magic of the first one. Now, I will say the first one was a lot better when it comes to the action and things like that. The new one, to me, a few times got boring. It wasn't as spectacular as I thought it should be, considering the Matrix, the original anyway, revolutionized filmmaking and changed things up and led to new innovations. But it was still really great, and I think I liked it on par with the first one. Definitely must see. Pretty cool film. Next on our list is The Green Knight. What an interesting film. God, it's great. The cinematography. The dude who played in it, what's his name, Dev Patel? I think that's right. Actually, since I caught him out, I'll look here real quick. Make sure I got his name right, because it'd be kind of an insult if I didn't. And of course, my internet's taking pretty long. But the guy, his acting was a character in itself. He was Dev Patel. Yeah, I didn't want to insult him, because he actually does a really good job. I'll be following his career more closely, to see what other movies he's been in, or rather what movies he's going to come out with in the future. And he's done such a good job acting, because it's not a spoiler, but there's a lot of scenes in this film where it's just him. Now, there is other people in this movie. There's plenty of interaction he has with other people. but he carries a lot of the story just with him and his acting alone. And you'd be hard pressed to find another actor to really be able to pull it off. So, very much kudos to him. But the cinematography was great. The settings were, again, another character of their own. Really great film, and it's a take on a story from back in the day dealing with one of King Arthur's men and a Green Knight. It's a story of chivalry, honor, and all that. Definitely a must-see if you love cinema. It's one of them smart thinking films, too, that you have to really just get into it and enjoy film. So, definitely recommend that. Now, just looking over here at some of Dev's other films. And to be honest with you, I have never seen one before. So, I'm definitely going to be checking him out. Oh, yeah, Slumdog Millionaire. Yeah, I've seen that. That's a great film, too, so no wonder. No wonder he was cast in The Green Knight, and no wonder he did a great job. I know Slumdog Millionaire came out in 2008. We're talking about 2021 films. You should definitely go check out Slumdog Millionaire. Now, back to, watch The Green Knight. Back to films of 2021. What we got here? Red Notice. I haven't seen it all the way. I watched maybe 30 minutes of it, and I want to watch that film at a later time with my dear mother, so I don't want to have to watch it twice. I want to, if it's good enough, I'll watch it twice. But Red Notice, it seemed to be a pretty well done, funny film. It's got Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, and Gal Gadot, or as you may say, Gal Gadot, whatever, Wonder Woman. The chick who plays Wonder Woman, she's in it. So I haven't seen it all, so I really can't rate it. But hey, check it out. You might like it. And some other movies, that came out. Belfast, I haven't seen it, but looks like it's going to be a really, really, really great film. But you've got to have to like character-driven stories. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Finally, a sequel to Ghostbusters. It's only been 3 decades in the making. 3 decades. I've been waiting my whole entire childhood for Ghostbusters 3. And it finally came out this year. It's supposed to come out last year, but, COVID. I really like Ghostbusters Afterlife. I think there was some slow parts to it that really could have been sped up. They focused a lot on driving the characters, and sometimes I think they circled around the blocks one too many times. But I liked all the characters, and I am not one for stories that's focused around children. I find children be annoying. I could care less about your little crotch gremlins. It's just how I am. But I did like this story. It was pretty well done. Definitely recommend you see it. If you didn't see it in theaters, well, you missed out. I think it still is in theaters, to be honest with you, so you still got time to run out and see it. But love it. It's like number 2 on my list of films. Number 2. And definitely got to watch it. What's some other great movies come out here? Let me look. I should have prepared a list. That would have made more sense, right? But that's not how I roll. I roll a lot different than most people. Quit, machine. Technology never cooperates when you want it to. Does it? It's always so picky, so 99% of all problems is user error. And yeah, that was totally my fault that I'm an idiot. Alright, some other great movies that came out this year. The Last Duel. That's a pretty fair film. I liked it. It's like mentioned Green Knight. It's another film that takes place back in ye old swords and armor and horses and people living in cold, damp, dark castles. You watch these films and you think, wow, life must have been really miserable back then. It was. Most people didn't live to see the age of 30. You know, it's not spoilers or nothing for the film, but it's just horrible times back then. Horrible, horrible, nasty times. Horrible. You know, what's some of your favorite films this year? You can put it in the comments, because this is going to be on YouTube. You can leave a YouTube comment. Godzilla vs. Kong. You know, I actually really enjoyed this film. It was pretty good. You know, the last Godzilla, my biggest complaint on it was... That was one before the last one. Is that right? I don't know, one of the Godzilla films was... It was the last one. Godzilla really wasn't in the film that much. You know? It's movie... The title of it's Godzilla. And you... barely show Godzilla. But the new one, it really made up for it. So, and King Kong in it, totally great film. You know, it's one of those popcorn munching thrill ride. I mean, I wouldn't break it down and try to say it's the greatest film that ever existed, because, well, it's not. And there's only one greatest film that ever existed. And that's up for debate. What? Don't look at me. You want me to tell you what it is? It's different for everybody. You gotta ask yourself that question. What I think is the greatest film and what you think is the greatest film could be two different movies, and neither one is a wrong answer. Because everything's based on the individual's own perspective and interests. But yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong, pretty great film. I enjoyed it. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I was really looking forward to this one, because I'm a huge Woody Harrelson fan. And the fact that he was going to be in a new film, I was like, yes, it's going to be Venom. Now, one thing about the Venom films, Tom Hardy. I like Tom Hardy. He's up there on my list of actors that I really enjoy his work. And if he's in a film, good chance that I'll check it out. I liked his portrayal of Eddie Brock in both films. But the Venom films, I mean, they're not my most... I don't look forward to them as I do other films. I'll watch them, but... And I'll watch, if there's a third one, I'll watch it. But if there never was another one, I wouldn't cry. But I really had high expectations for, you know, the new Venom film. And it's a good film. I definitely enjoyed it. But just like the first Venom, I felt it probably should have had a little bit something extra on it. A little more meat on the bones of it. But that's just my preference. You know, The Many Saints of Newark. Now that was a great film. It's a Sopranos original story. Origin. Origami. Aboriginal. Whatever you want to call it. I really like that film. I'd like to have a TV series based on that time period, on those characters. You know, you get Tony Soprano as an adult, and you got however many seasons of that. You know, that's a lot of fans of that series, and it's well done. But, you know, his uncle, the man who made Tony Soprano, totally a interesting dude. So, you know, if you like, you know, mafia gangster type films, you know, if you like The Sopranos, it's a must watch. And it's a very close contender up there. It's in the top 5 for me. You know, you got the going on, the movie Ode. You know, M. Night Shyamalan, the twist dude, who likes to give everybody a twist. You know, come on, baby, let's do the twist. Yeah, that's, if he was a musician, he probably would have wrote that song, or at least covered it and play it. Yeah, it's a pretty good film. I mean, I wouldn't give it an Oscar by any means. I really wouldn't recommend it to a whole lot of people. But yeah, if you like M. Night Shyamalan, you might want to watch it. If you forget about it, I don't think anyone would blame you. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying there's probably better ways to spend your time if you really look into something else. Anyway, Mortal Kombat. Well, I can say this about the new Mortal Kombat. It is 10,000 times better than whatever those abominations were in the 90s. Though while I enjoyed those abominations in the 90s, I was also a kid. And kids happen to be stupid. But the new Mortal Kombat is actually pretty neat in some ways. And in some ways it's You know, if I had to watch old or Mortal Kombat, I'd probably just go for a drive. Anyway, yeah. A Quiet Place Part 2. Just shut up and watch it. Ha! You get it? A Quiet Place? Shut up. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Dune. The spice must flow. Just go ahead and watch this show. I really enjoyed it. It's a really visually stunning film. It was one that was an absolute spectacle to see in theaters. You know, the cinematography, really great. Now, back in the day, I was very, very much torn on cinematography. If it was a lot of CG and, you know, computer graphics and a lot of fake stuff, I was like, nah, that's not real cinematography. That's just an animation. I was one of these purists. You know, you had to take the camera and go out into the middle of the desert and film real deserts, you know. I think there's a bit of so in films like that. You know, you take Lawrence of Arabia, which is filmed. Well, it's based in Arabia. I don't know where it's filmed. Probably in Libya or... probably not. Well, we don't want to get into the geopolitical politics of 1960s. But wherever it was filmed at, it was beautiful. You know. It gets very expensive now to run out to the middle of an actual desert and wait for the right conditions to get cinema quality images on camera, so you can put them on the screen. You know, and also we've reached a stage where, well, most movies are filmed with a green screen and all that, so it's kind of hard to get these natural shots in camera at actual locations. But, you know, Dune did a really great job. Felt like he was on planet Arkansas, or whatever they call that planet, Arachnus, Spider Planet, Arrakis, Erica, whatever. You know, that planet where the spice is, that has the big giant worms that will eat things. Big worms. You know, I bet the people from A Quiet Place would do remarkably well against those worms. Those worms won't even know they was there. That's probably the crossover we need for Dune 2. Bringing the people from A Quiet Place. You know, while you're at it, bring Sandra Bullock from Bird Box. She won't be able to see it coming. And then the people from Quiet Place. And the Dune people can tell her to be quiet. Yeah, Dune, great film. You know, it was very excited to hear it was going to get a sequel. Just got to wait 2 or 3 years or however long. You know, we got to a point where we were so used to almost guarantee that a movie, when it came out, was going to get a sequel. I guess that's where the Marvel movies and things like that spoiled people. Now we're back to the old style. A movie goes to theaters, and if it does well, we have to wait to see if the studio is interested in greenlighting that production. But congratulations. The people from Dune got enough money from the hard-working fans so they could spend millions upon millions upon millions and more millions on actors, expensive hotels, buffets, cars, designer drugs, so they can make us film. We did it, world. We're fueling Hollywood's indulgence so they can entertain us for a few short hours with our hard-earned money. Now, we're running pretty... What, we're in... It's been 30 minutes so far. That pretty much is a rundown of a lot of films that came out in 2021. Now it's time for my favorite. Maybe just double check here, make sure I didn't miss anything that's really great. Because, I mean, such a great film. And I've seen so many films, it's so hard to remember them all. Especially when you barely remember what you did a couple hours ago. You know? My favorite film of 2021. It's going to shock a lot of people. Oh, I just remembered before we get to my favorite film. The anticipation's going to kill you. I hope not. Because I would like for you to tune in next Sunday and listen. So don't die. Anyway. Nobody. Is it Nobody? I think it's Nobody. You know, Nobody film. It's got the dude. He goes around beating people up. Yeah, it's Nobody. It's a really good film. Kind of like a older John Wick, if that makes sense. Even though John Wick is not a spring chicken. It's got Bob Odenkirk. I guess that's how you say his name. Never met him, so no one's introduced me to him properly. You know, Bob Odenkirk. A fun little universe to play in. Or get the snot beat out of you in. Really cool. Really enjoyed it. Definitely recommend you watch it. And I can't believe I left this one out earlier. Boss Level. It's got Mel Gibson. And it's got the dude from Captain America and all that. You know, I'm looking his name up right now. I'm just winging this. I don't even know what I'm going to say next. Whatever random thought comes to my head, really. With whatever. You know, Frank Grillo. Yeah. You know, this Captain America guy. You know, he's in the elevator scene in that one Captain America movie where they try to beat him up. And yeah. He does such a great job in Boss Level. Highly recommend that film. It came out on Hulu, which I think is a stupid name. What is that? Hula Hoop? Hulu? Whatever. Really, I want to watch a movie, I think Hulu. You know, why not call yourself super awesome streaming service for you to watch films that we spent millions on? Please subscribe to us. That'd catch my attention. I think the film really should have been a big screen release because it has all the right makings for it. It's an awesome film. It's got the Groundhog Day effect, you know, reliving the same day over and over and over and over and over and over and over, you know. But it's entertaining and fun. Definitely watch it. And speaking of him, made me think of another movie, Cop Shop. Same director as Boss Level. Frank Grillo from Boss Level's in it. And it's got Gerald Butler. That's a fun film. Great, another awesome film. It's about cops and stuff. You know, I guess you'd never noticed that from the title. Not a suspicion one. Watch it. I enjoyed it. You'd probably enjoy it too. I want you to watch it. You can get on YouTube and tell me just how much you did enjoy it. You know, I like hearing how much you enjoy things. You know, I really want this only to be about 20 minutes long. But just when I get talking, I don't want to stop talking. Because I know you do not want to stop listening to me, because my voice takes you away to a pleasant world, a happy world where everything makes perfect sense and you can just live in bliss. Alright, time for my favorite movie of the year. This movie did not come out in theaters. This movie was on a streaming service. And if you already pay for Amazon Prime, which in fact most people already do because they like getting that free shipping and they have a severe Amazon addiction, then you get Amazon TV, whatever they call it. I don't know what they call it. I got it, but I don't really pay attention to the app because I like Hulu. What a dumb name. I just go to them, you know. Prime Video, that's what they call it. Prime Video. So you can get on Prime Video and type in this name for this #1 movie on my list, and you can watch it. You can see it just this very day. As a matter of fact, don't watch it yet. Wait till this podcast is over, and then go watch it. Great film. Highly recommend it. It has... I guess you want to hear the title first. The Tomorrow War. Yes, The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt. And some other people. They all do a pretty good job. Real good job. Enough to be my favorite film. Almost made The Green Knight my favorite film because that's a spectacular flick. I said flick. I didn't say any other words that sound similar. You know, 4-letter words. I would never say them. The Tomorrow War has everything you ever wanted in a film. It's got action. A lot of action. It has... Well, they don't have romance, really. That'd be weird. Watch it, you understand. It has drama. There's a lot of drama. It's character driven. It's actually what I call a character driven drama. That's really an action film. Or is it an action film that's really a character driven drama? It's up for debate. So it has all that, and it has aliens. It's not a spoiler. It's right there in the description. It's got aliens. And it's time travel. Who don't like time travel? Wouldn't you like the ability to travel through time? You know, to see a different era, to know about another time. Well, the Tomorrow War takes place in a different time. It also takes place in... Well, it takes place in a different time. It's a really great film. I definitely recommend watching it. And, you know, 2021 isn't over yet. There's still, you know, some films, you know, set to come out. And next Sunday, if something changes in one of these films that's came out, or I watch any of the other films that I haven't seen, because that's highly possible, I will highly recommend that. And if you notice, I did leave out one major release, which is right now the #1 movie in the world. This morning it hit, well, yesterday, whenever, this weekend, it crossed the threshold of $1.2 billion in the box office. And that's Spider-Man No Way Home. Hopefully get to watch it before long, and hopefully get to see it, and let's see how it stacks up to the other films. But for now, the Tomorrow War. Don't wait until tomorrow to watch the Tomorrow War, because tomorrow's war can be today's entertainment pleasures. They should pay me for that. That's a good slogan. And no, I was not paid by the Tomorrow War, featuring Chris Pratt and some other people, for this endorsement. But if you'd like to pay me, please contact me on YouTube. I'm glad to accept your money to tell people your movie's awesome. Anybody. I don't care if you're a studio, indie filmmaker, you got a film out there, pay me and I'll tell people to watch it. It's called capitalism and advertising. Let's get on it, people. Well, we're running pretty well into 40 minutes on this inaugural episode of Something Sundays with Colonel Dr. Acula. It's been fun. You may think it's been interesting. And you're damn right, it has been interesting. Next Sunday will be even more interesting because I'm going to do a recap on the whole year of 2021. Tell you exactly what I think about this year in total. You know what? I'm not going to wait till next Sunday. I'm going to tell you now. That's my Christmas present for you. I think it was great to be alive. You should probably too. And you should probably lower your standards. You'll be happier that way. That's what I did. Anyway, next Sunday we'll talk about 2022 and some films that's coming out. Maybe some music. Maybe, who knows? I don't even know myself. But we'll find out next Sunday at 3 p.m. Thank you for joining me. And if you want to be a guest on Something Sundays with Colonel Dr. Acula, leave me a comment. Send me a message. There'll probably be an email somewhere on your screen right now. Maybe not. There's a lot of spammers out there. If you're listening, then you probably already know how to get in touch with me. Anyway, until next time. Stay holly, stay jolly, stay folly, stay collie, stay... I don't really care what you do. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and be good, or be good at it.